the streets filled with panic, smoke billowed from burning buildings, and centuries of Roman heritage disappeared in a final, merciless assault. The Roman Empire once ruled over vast lands, a symbol of civilization and unmatched power. But over centuries, forces within and outside its borders would erode that strength, bringing a once mighty empire to its knees. It all began with Augustus. In 27 BCE, Octavian took the name Augustus and became Rome's first emperor, bringing an end to years of civil war. Under his rule, the empire stabilized, ushering in the Pax Romana, a golden age that would see the empire expand its borders, stretch its influence across 3 continents, and weave a network of roads, cities, and trade routes unparalleled in history. Rome reached its zenith in the 1st and 2nd centuries CE, its territory encompassing the Mediterranean, North Africa, and parts of Western Europe. The empire's wealth flowed from its conquered lands, and Roman legions were stationed from the sands of the Sahara to the chilly shores of Britain. This was a time of power and prosperity, but maintaining such a colossal empire was no easy task. By the 3rd century, internal fractures were beginning to form. Political corruption and power struggles at the top created a cycle of instability. Emperor after emperor rose and fell, each one seizing power through force, only to be overthrown just as quickly. Civil wars and rampant inflation weakened the economy, and plagues swept through the empire, decimating the population. In this turbulent period, Rome's strong foundations began to crumble. In 285 CE, Emperor Diocletian attempted a bold solution. He split the empire in 2. The Eastern Empire, centered in the wealthy city of Byzantium, would have its own emperor, while the Western Empire, centered in Rome, would have another. This division helped secure the empire's territories but came at a cost. It deepened the divide, both economically and culturally, between the wealthy East and the struggling West. One of the greatest rulers in this new era was Constantine the Great, who emerged in 312 CE to reunite the empire under his rule. At the Battle of Milvian Bridge, Constantine had a vision that led him to embrace Christianity, forever altering the empire's spiritual landscape. By making Christianity the favored religion, Constantine laid the groundwork for a Christian Rome, but his decisions also alienated traditional Roman supporters. In 330, he established a new capital, Constantinople, shifting power from the city of Rome itself. By the 4th century, Rome was no longer safe. Nomadic tribes like the Huns from Central Asia swept through Europe, terrorizing and displacing other tribes, like the Visigoths and Vandals, who now surged toward Roman lands, desperate for refuge and resources. These so-called barbarian groups, skilled fighters and fearless warriors, had seen the wealth of Rome, and they wanted a piece of it. The Roman borders, once impenetrable, were beginning to buckle under the weight of these relentless invasions. In 410 CE, the unthinkable happened. Led by their king, Alaric, the Visigoths invaded the heart of the empire, marching directly on Rome. For the first time in 800 years, an enemy breached Rome's walls. For 3 days, the Visigoths looted, burned, and terrorized the city. This sack of Rome shook the world. It was a symbol that the empire was no longer invincible. But despite the destruction, the empire managed to hold on, bruised but not broken. With each passing year, the Western Empire grew weaker. Resources were drained, and entire regions fell under the control of local warlords rather than loyal governors. The empire, once a powerful and cohesive unit, was now a patchwork of struggling territories. The Eastern Empire, meanwhile, thrived, furthering the divide between the 2 halves of Rome. In 455 CE, the Vandals crossed the Mediterranean and launched a brutal attack on Rome. For 14 days, they sacked and pillaged the city, leaving it in ruin. This assault was devastating, but Rome continued to stand, though its power was fading. The final blow came in 476, when a Germanic chieftain named Odoacer led his forces into Italy. With Rome exhausted, Odoacer marched toward the capital with fierce determination. The invasion of 476 CE marked the end of Rome's long struggle to survive. Odoacer's forces flooded the city, with almost no resistance to oppose them. The streets filled with panic, smoke billowed from burning buildings, and centuries of Roman heritage disappeared in a final, merciless assault. The last Roman emperor, Romulus Augustulus, was forced to surrender his crown to Odoacer, and with this act, the Western Roman Empire ceased to exist. After centuries of invasions and weakening from within, Rome had truly fallen. And so, in 476 CE, the Western Roman Empire met its end. The Eastern Empire, known as the Byzantine Empire, would survive for nearly 1,000 years more, but the Rome of the West was no more. Its legacy, however, lived on, echoing through the ages, shaping future civilizations even as its own sun set.